Hi everyone. I hope that you're doing really well. Welcome back to another podcast episode where today I explore daily rituals as they are honestly a huge cornerstone of my life. And I'll explore why I need rituals, what happens when I don't have rituals, and sort of how they are an overarching warm blanket of goodness for me. And I'm hoping that this will prompt you to examine some of your daily habits and rituals and ways to refine your own personal practices that can add such a benefit to each of our days. So, rituals, like I mentioned, are the backbone of really how I structure my life each day. And I welcome each of you to sort of think through as I talk and reflect on your days. These practices are pure bliss and they provide a sense of comfort in the life that we design for ourselves. They keep me grounded in the here and now, provide clarity and structure, along with the sense of sort of feeling at home with myself, which is totally priceless. Rituals I've adopted throughout certain periods of my life also remind me of my journey and maybe when I was in a different place or space in life. It's amazing that we're able to choose whether to carry on certain rituals or we change them at times. And that is the best way I can describe it. Simple things like steeping my darling teapot each morning and cutting up ginger or lemon to nourish my body feel rejuvenating and healing to start out the day. The sound of the kettle whistling, the steam, and how it sounds as the water pours into a mug, or coffee, the smell is enough of a ritual on its own to remind me of the many different places I've drank coffee around the world. The common beverage each morning that allows us to feel rooted. Rituals for me are a symbol of simplicity, also, to approach each day like a blank canvas, to paint as you wish, but always you feel secure with certain rituals, like meditation, even for 10 minutes if I'm laying down or seated before rising to truly start the day. It offers the mind a chance to rest, to start fresh. And again, it reminds me to stay in my body and appreciate where I'm at right now. Not getting caught in the past or too far ahead of myself in the future, but let's face it, that happens a lot, which is why I can't miss one. It's a sense of peace and clarity, a nod of self love each time you are able to prioritize what's needed in order for you to just feel your best. And it doesn't have to be big, expensive things. We all deserve that love for ourselves. And it's not a nice to have in my book at all, but an absolute necessity. There are times when I'm on set shooting for weeks and maybe with family or at an Airbnb or hotel, not granted the gift of time or space. And if I don't come up with a morning routine within a few days, I'll start feeling worn down, overwhelmed, and truthfully, like someone has robbed me of my freedom. It sounds a little bit abrupt, but rituals also offer up time of reflection and connection each day, which is meaningful. I know for me, I'm a really deep thinker, and you probably are too. I don't want to be a zombie walking through my life without intention or meaning, even for one day. I try to journal or write down thoughts or even a quote maybe every single day. But most of my favorites are the stream of consciousness entries where I have time on my hands and I can daydream more about what I'm really wishing for. What am I wanting to welcome into my life? And what is it that I'm really cultivating for my future? And I write and continue to write and just let it all come out like a channel through me, because I think writing is a form of therapy, and it's also a really strong portal to access the higher self. And often, as I talk on this channel a lot about, we have the ingredients and we have all of the intuition and knowledge within ourselves. I think sometimes we try to override it by things in the external world. So, writing for me is a way to root into truly what my authentic self is saying. And then, one other ritual that I'll mention is I like to bring like textiles with me everywhere I go. And there's some that I've designed myself or picked up along travels, like when I was in Bali for my yoga teacher training or volunteering in Africa. These really powerful moments on my journey. And the vibrant textiles are just so visually awesome. And I like to place my makeup bag on top of it, maybe in a hotel, or to place over me if I'm chilly, to wear it as a shawl, or like my favorite thing lately is to wrap it around my head as a scarf. And when I was abroad, this sense of a blanket or keepsake felt so healthy, and even smelling like my favorite laundry detergent from my bedding at home. And these familiarities are so important to find the things that ground you even when you aren't at home. I encourage you to sort of think about ways that you might be able to infuse some new rituals into your life. And really, what they do is allow us to come home to ourselves. It's not where we are physically, but the mental state that we're in. And yes, also bringing things alongside our journey is helpful. I really thought that I needed to increase my hydration and water levels, so I bought a new hydro flask, and it's kind of a bright color and it's nice and compliments me wherever I go. I feel inspired to sort of carry it around like a badge of honor. How much water have I really drank today? And, we know our bodies, and for those of us that like to move them, we can certainly tell after a workout or maybe even just before going to bed how we're feeling. And the more water I drink, the lighter I really feel. So if there's any sign of a headache that ever comes up, I know that that's really a bad place for me. But think about things, not just diet and nutrition in terms of rituals, but what you want to actually consume that isn't food, our social media, TV, videos, whatever it is that you are sort of taking in from the external world. I think it's really helpful to place little rituals alongside that as well. I know for me, I really don't feel like the news is something that I can listen to every day as an empath. I don't know that it is healthy all the time. And of course, every source has a different take. And to anyone who watches the news, that is great. And if it works for you, that's wonderful. But for me, I find myself having dreams about it. And I don't know, like Wayne Dyer says, I don't know that it's necessary for us to watch other humans suffering or violence, and see it, because we somehow absorb that energy and positives and high vibrations the most that we can kind of contribute and also take in ourselves. That reciprocity of what we give and what we also receive is so intrinsic to our health and our well-being. So that is another form of a ritual that may be good to kind of take a look at. And then one last thing, for me personally, I find that I've been on a little bit of a rigmarole with work lately, and sleep is a ritual I think that is so sacred and so powerful. It's amazing that the quality of our sleep, the amount of our sleep, and everything revolving around how we go to sleep is very fascinating. So I really take pride in a nighttime routine that is a special ritual for me. Hopefully I will have exercised and I feel pretty wiped out. Usually I'm tired when I go to sleep, and I feel excited to rejuvenate my body and allow myself time to rest. But taking a warm shower, or perhaps, making yourself a nice cup of tea, or listening to soothing nature sounds, visually. I like to turn, all the lights down except for a few fairy lights. So, after I get out of the shower, I feel like I'm in this really sacred space. And, I have my essential oils, which, by the way, my latest obsession is lemon balm. It's just pure lemon oil, but it is so soothing and grounding, and I've never had that before, so I recommend it if you are looking to add another into the mix. But the nighttime ritual is it's so something I look forward to. And, whether you like to read or somehow get into a space of your sanctuary and sort of ease into it, again, I hope that you think of these things in a way that help you to feel your best, because we are all works in progress, and everything that we do every day contributes to our lives. And it's not these big, sweeping, huge things all of a sudden that are a part of our rituals, but even just these little things can contribute so much to transform us from the inside out. So I hope that you enjoy this little talk about my rituals, and that I've encouraged you to think of yours. And please feel free to drop me a comment down below on a special ritual that you enjoy, or something that you've tried or that you're changing, or if you're looking for advice. It would be really wonderful to hear from you. I, as always, am so thankful to be here and sharing my light, and also receiving yours. So please subscribe to the channel, and it helps it to grow, and I'm committed to that. I will be back very soon for another video, and I'm wishing you all the very best. Take care. Bye.